So what kind of a character are you going for?
I so right now the two that I have in mind is where is it? Fortune Hunter. So we're doing this. I'm doing this for the money. And then also, where is it? Ironclad. And then I'm still thinking about doing Shadow, which I know seems like an odd combination, but I'm going to combine it with a ritual and have my armor be part of the ritual thing.
Hmm.
I'm considering taking the ritual called Shadow Walk.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at that and
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, oh, if having your armor be part of
Uh
it, then
huh.
maybe your armor can kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bend light.
Uh-huh. And it's cool too because with where is it? With Ironclad, it says when you wear armor or it says when you equip or adjust your armor, you can choose one, either lightly armored or geared for war. And I thought it'd
Yeah,
be cool if the thing that I found, cuz it sounds like both of us found one of these like, magical mystical space tech things. And maybe this got us down the road of wanting more and finding more of this stuff and then also
yeah.
just, making money off the two, which is always good.
I went the like mystical,
Mhm.
weird way, and you went the this makes me powerful and I need more.
We could sell this.
Zealous money.
We could sell this for money. So good.
I'm like, oh, I can find more things to play with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what does Shadow Walk actually do? You cloak yourself with the Gossamer Veil of the Shadow Realms. Roll plus Shadow on a strong hit. Take +1 momentum. Then re-roll any die when you make a move by ambushing, hiding, or sneaking. On a weak hit, as above, but the shadows try to lead you astray. See, that could be cool. You must first face danger to find your way. That sounds really cool.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
well, definitely plays with the whatever this magic is
Mm-hmm.
doesn't fit well with human brains.
Absolutely. I dig it. I dig it. We're going to do that. So this is interesting because we don't have the super, fight him up, do 9 points of damage thing that we had from before, which is good. I mean, that's, it's gonna be a different playstyle. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. So let's take a look at our character sheets here. Okay. Cool. So I have Path, Fortune Hunter. The combat talent is Ironclad, and my ritual is Shadow Walk. And it's funny, Ironclad doesn't help me in combat. It just helps me when I get hurt.
Excellent. Yep, I have the path of improviser, and I have two rituals, sway and talisman.
Nice.
And then for my stats, I went edge 1, iron 2, heart 2, shadow 1, wits 3.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So we're not subtle.
You know what?
Actually, I was gonna say we're not subtle, but actually we're probably quite subtle. We're just not graceful. We're not graceful.
Goddesses don't need to be graceful.
That's not a family trait.
No.
No, not at all. Okay, cool. And then I'm definitely gonna be starting with 3 bonds for sure. You can start with up to 3 bonds.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Where do we want to be? So it sounds like we're younger.
Yeah.
Are we third generation? Or are we still second generation?
Maybe we're second generation, but only because our parents were young
Hmm.
when it all
Yeah.
happened.
Mm-hmm. And they waited.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I dig it. Okay. And then do you have a sense of where we are? Are we going to be more inner, or are we going to start outward and then work our way in?
Hmm.
Or maybe before answering that question, where do we find our stuff?
Well, you're the one with the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Yep.
think?
Yeah, I got a suit of armor. Yeah. Uh-huh. Which by the way, I think is like a belt. So it's actually not a suit of armor by itself. It's just a belt. And then there's like these knobs and dials, and it's not really knobs and like I call them knobs and dials, but it's like it's much more sophisticated than that. And so I can very easily adjust between having it be something that's a little more light versus really jacked up. And then it's almost like a wearable belt, EVA suit, but like a really advanced one. And then where did we? Let's see. Did we find our? Because we got a ship. Did we find our ship, or were we given a ship and we have to work it off? I feel like the second one is more interesting because then it gives us a hook.
No. So I'm thinking like maybe our parents passed away recently because they were old at this point, or oldish. And maybe we used what inheritance we got for the down payment for the ship. So now we need to make this work so we can finish paying it off.
Let's see here. How can we edit the bio? Oh, edit. Here we go. Okay. How about this? How about let's give us a harder hook here. How about our parents racked up a debt? How about our parents racked up a debt and then we got stuck with it? And so this is good. So we have a debt we have to pay.
Yeah, and maybe our parents died under mysterious circumstances.
Built up a debt that has been assigned to us by the council lawfully. Heavy air quotes, lawfully.
Shit, what did our parents do?
Open question by the council. Okay. So we have this debt, so that's great because that's a bond right there. And then not all bonds have to be good. And then at the same time, we also found our pieces of gear, and I think those weren't connected. Like those were separate incidents where we find, and maybe we found them at the same time. Maybe we both went on a thing and we found it. We can talk that out. But I think that was the onus for us, not as collateral, but saying like, look, we're competent. We've clearly gotten things that are important. We can find more things. And I feel like...
I found a thing.
We found a thing. Look, it's a fancy, shiny thing. We found multiple, not just one. We found multiple fancy, shiny things. We found 3 fancy, shiny things. And we used it. This is my idea. We use this as collateral to get a ship. To say, hey, you give us a ship. You basically give us a ship, and then we'll pay you back. So we're on the hook twice now. Once for the ship, and then once for this debt that our parents. Exactly. Yep. Awesome. Okay. So how do we find our... So what are your thoughts? I know my thing. My thing is a belt that it turns into a suit of armor and a suit. What is yours? I call it a suit of armor. It's not actually a suit of... It's probably not a suit of armor. It's like an EVA suit. But it's like so advanced that I consider it a suit of armor. But whoever made this probably thought it was like, oh yeah, just coveralls. But for us, it's so advanced that it's like a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my water. So you're thinking I found something that helps me with my rituals?
Yeah. So like we talked about, the rituals are. They're manifest by these like they're contained in these pieces of tech. So you found this thing, it's a piece of tech that you have, and then you know how to use it, and it lets you do a thing. And we have found them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say that one of them is a hearing aid.
Okay.
It's the one I use for sway. Because it's about when I speak someone's name, I can hear on the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of fits there.
I like it. And then what's your other
Talisman.
Your talisman.
Fashioning charms.
Yeah. So is it like a tool that you can use to fashion these things? Like what kind of charms do you have in mind that you would make? Like what would you actually use these charms for? Like are these gifts you'd give? Like, oh look here, you should have this gift that I made for you, and then I'm going to use it to just like whisper sweet nothings into your ear and make you do things for me.
Well, no, it protects against certain things.
Interesting. Talisman. When you fashion a charm, envision it and name the specific person or creature it protects against. Oh. When the wearer opposes the target through a move.
I don't know. Badges.
Okay. So when you fashion a charm, so the thing you found is probably something that you would use to fashion these charms.
Maybe I found a button maker.
Yeah.
So I make like little buttons that people can pin to their shirts.
What is a button maker? Is it like a press thing, or are you talking about like the little hooking thing that you'd use to tie buttons on to something?
Yeah, so like you have the bottoms and then the tops that go down over it. You usually have like a piece of paper you put in between, and it just like clamps it.
Oh, so it's like a press? Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's cool. I've never seen a button maker before, so there you go. Fashion a charm which aids to wear against. That's cool. Okay, cool. So you found a button press. Is that what it's called? What's it called? A button making tool.
Yeah, a button press is fine.
Okay. First piece of magic tech on our own, which we used as collateral for a ship. Uses collateral. So we use this as collateral for a ship, and then we also we're in debt to everybody. So we also okay, so number one, we have this debt from our parents. This is awesome. I love this already. So we have the debt from our parents. We got our first pieces of tech, and we used that as collateral. So we actually used our actual tech, our stuff that we got, as collateral for the ship, and to show that we could do this thing. And if we were to fail or lose a ship, they would try to take our stuff from us, which is good to know. And then beyond it, we also have managed to secure the what's it called? The what do we call them?
Signet.
The signet. So yeah, so we've gotten an official signet from the council somehow. So did we convince somebody? Go ahead.
No, I was just somehow.
I love it. So this is good stuff because all of these should be bonds. Like every single one of these things should be. The person who holds our debt should be a bond. The person who we connected with to get the collateral for the ship should be a bond. The person who we convinced / conned to give us an official signet as an iron gopher.
I sway on them.
Absolutely.
Like I spoke their name into the wind 3 times, and then
I like it.
I found out what it is that we needed to compel them.
I love it.
To give us the ship.
So we convinced someone on the council.
Huh?
We convinced someone on the council to give us a signet. And that could even be like an opening thing too. So maybe that's a thing that you spoke their name, because you wanted a thing. Because I think, let's read that real quick actually. So sway, right? Yeah. Speak a person's name 3 times to the wind, roll wits. On the strong hit, the wind whispers of this person's need. So they needed something. Vision which you hear. If you use information, it can fill them to or fulfill their need. When you compel them, you may reroll any die. On a weak hit as above, but this person's need creates a troubling dilemma or complication. Okay, yeah. So it feels like this. Maybe this is a thing where you use sway and you spoke the name of somebody on the council to be like, "Hey, what do you want?" And then I'm going to use that information to get a signet from you. And maybe you were like, "Oh, hey, if only we had a signet, we could get that thing you wanted. But it's too bad we don't have a signet because we could totally get that for you. Boy, it'd be great if we could get that thing for you. That'd be awesome."
So now we have to go get that thing.
Maybe we have to go get that thing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, I was like, yeah, but we do this to get paid. So we're going to get this thing for you, but we're not just doing it for the signet. Because at first you're like, oh, maybe we just, you give me the signet and we'll get the thing. And I was like, yeah, but also money. But money. Like, we're doing this for money.
And we get to keep whatever else we find.
Absolutely.
Because I want to find more mystic things.
For sure. I dig it. Okay. So these should all be bonds. So the convince somebody on the council to give us a signet, that should be one of your bonds. For sure.
Okay.
And then we found our first pieces of magic tech on our own, which we use as collateral for a ship. I think that's gonna be one of my bonds. And then our parents built up a debt that has been assigned to us. I think that should be one of both of our bonds for sure. And that should be an asshole. That should be just a fuck. We should use the oracles.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's find
so
out.
Where are we? Which council? Like where is the original location of where we're starting from? Because we don't have any faction.
Yeah, like we don't belong to a faction, but the factions still exist. And so to be, and this is us kind of fleshing out what this whole thing, like what the whole Iron Gophers look like, the official acquisition specialists, of which we are now in their ranks. So officially, you have to have a signet, which we have gotten, and to get a signet, you have to get one from the council. Is there? I don't feel like, and I think you're right on to ask this question. In my mind, there's not one council. I feel like there's like councils in a bunch of different places, and there's probably like this is the representative from Io. Yeah. This is the representative from Mars that's on this council, and then they probably talk to each other. They have their own powwows.
Regional councils.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they powwow, so they all know what's going on. For sure. Okay. So we went to our local council, wherever we're at, and we came up. We convinced them. You convinced them. Okay. So our parents. So let's think about this. So our parents. We have a couple open questions here. Where we got our stuff from, where we found our first score, and the circumstances around it. What area we're in now. That'll be our starting place. And our parents, were they always from this area where we're at? Or did we move here because they were trying to get away from it? I feel like the latter.
Yeah.
And how long have we had our stuff for?
Always kind of moved on after certain amounts of time.
Yeah.
So we're used to just wandering around places, and maybe we didn't quite understand why that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always told us that, but it was always like one step ahead of being caught by the debtors.
Yeah.
By the creditors. Mm-hmm. Which is good. Okay, let's roll on. Let's roll some things. Let's find out who the debtor is. We're the debtors. Who the creditor is. So this was the person that our parents owe. Let's see here. Well, let's get a name. What do we got here? Kodroth. Love it. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the space scavengers. Let's just start working this stuff out. Bonds.
So that's Kodroth is who we owe the debt to.
He is the creditor. Mm-hmm. Kodroth. I'm putting this all in the in that Google document too. Kodroth. Okay. Do we want to roll on this particular character's role, or do we have an idea? Do you have an idea in mind? Like, would this be somebody on like a local on one of the regional councils, or is this like a fucking pirate or something?
Ooh, I think it'd be more fun if it was a pirate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
Although, if it was a pirate and we owed them a debt,
why not? So why not both? I'm just gonna throw the question out there.
Why not both? What?
What if Kodroth is a pirate who also is on the council?
Oh.
Because it's regional, you know. It's
Yeah.
maybe in some places this isn't done and it's frowned upon, but maybe Kodroth has so many resources and such a presence that he's like, yeah. I am like, you know, Kodroth he or she has the front of, oh yes, I speak for Io, even though everybody really knows that Io is overrun by pirates. You know, That's who really runs that stuff. And nobody can fucking do anything because they're out in goddamn Io. Like, who's in it? Who cares? Like, it's fucking Io.
Nice.
I like it. So, pirate. Is Kodroth a he or a she? Pirate leader. Pirate. What's the bigwig?
Bigwig.
Pirate bigwig. Acts as regional council leader of Io.
Okay, so I totally forgot how to do the oracles in here.
If you on your character sheet, there's a new tab for oracles. And you can just go right down to it. Now you can just click on the little thing.
Nice.
Before I had to put them all in manually using all that code stuff. Now you can just click a button. Okay. Good to go. Okay, let's look here. So we've got. So we don't need a roll for character role, but I think we definitely need some descriptors. They're dying. Absolutely suspicious. And I like all of these. These are so good. They're dying, suspicious, and fervent. Okay, what is Kodroth fervent about? I feel like we need to roll again. We need a goal. What is Kodroth fervent about? Resolving a dispute.
Maybe because he's dying.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are dying, and they're looking more towards, you know, keeping their legacy, which means passing down whatever empire they have built to their, I don't know, progeny. They have to prove that this person is actually their blood. And so maybe they have to find the other parent to, you know, finish that whole paperwork, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like it. Okay, so that is Kodroth. Kodroth the asshole. Okay. And then we also have, let me come back over to bio. So that's both of our bonds. So our parents built up a debt that has been assigned to us lawfully by the council. Now we both have that bond, like we both have this relationship, but I feel like it's a different relationship for both of us. Like I feel like you probably, that PC you added right there, that's Persephone's. Is Persephone? Is that your character's name?
Yeah.
So Persephone knows through her sway whispering that that's what this character is all about. And so that's, and maybe you've shared this with Hella, maybe, I don't know. But that's like your angle with Kodroth. And then Hella would have a different angle with Kodroth. Like Hella doesn't give a shit about about their kid and this fucking dispute thing. Like who gives a shit? What I care, what's gonna give you the money. And so I think, so we need to figure out who Kodroth is going up against, because I think that's my angle. Like I'm trying to find some way that I can make Kodroth kick the bucket sooner, so that we don't have to pay off this goddamn debt. So we should find out who their primary rival is. So who doesn't want Io in the hands of pirates? Is it the people of Io itself, or a group in Io, or is it somebody else entirely? More and more, this sounds like we're around the Io area.
Yeah. What if it's someone on the council?
Somebody in the local regional council?
I already have a bond with someone on the council.
You do.
And maybe you have a different one.
I like that.
Someone else on the council.
Yep.
Or maybe it's the same person. Who knows?
Or it could be the same person. Okay. Let's do this. I want it to be a different person, but let's figure out your person first. So you convince somebody on the council to give us a signet. Let's figure out who this person is. So let's go to.
So I have a name.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But we need to do descriptors, I think.
Of course. What's your name?
Asha Shea.
Asha Shea. SHAE. Is that right?
AY.
AY. Gotcha. ASHA Shea. Okay. Let's take a look here. So let's get some descriptors. We've got obsessed, confident, and now let's reroll timid. I don't like that. And ugly. She's obsessed, confident, and ugly.
Okay.
And this is your person on the council, right? This is a regional council member.
This is the one that I persuaded to give us a signet in exchange for something they're looking for.
Yeah. And that's probably what they're upset. Is that what they're obsessed over? Should we roll for that? Or do we say it's likely that's what it's, let's make it clean.
I'm gonna say it's likely that's and since we have ugly in there as well, I'm kind of thinking like maybe it's something that has to do with ability to change the perception of them or their physical appearance, because maybe they feel like that's what's been hindering them from like doing more and being more successful on the council.
I like it. Is with a rumored artifact. Are you cool with calling these? Because I don't want to keep calling them space magic tech stuff. Can we just call them artifacts as the names?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So Asha's obsession is with a rumored artifact that has the supposed power of making her beautiful. And we'll call it the Veil.
Ooh.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it. Okay. What faction is she a part of? And this is out here on Io as well, yes?
Well, it's in the regional council
Mm-hmm.
around Io.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's another of Jupiter's moons.
Let's find out.
Jupiter's got like
It's got a bunch. Europa, Ganymede, Callisto. Those are your primary ones.
Callisto. Let's say
Callisto.
she's from Callisto.
Okay. So this is the Jupiter Regional Council. Okay. Callisto. And then, Mars and Ceres and the Belt and all them. They'd have members out here to see to their interests, but they're not as this might be like maybe not the ass end posting, but it's certainly not top billing.
Yeah.
So it's a training posting. The ass end billing would be like Neptune for Mars and them.
But is there actually a council out there yet?
No, absolutely there would be. There totally would be. Yeah, there's stuff out there.
Who actually made it out there.
That's right. Yeah, there's
staying out there. We're our own council.
There's stuff out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so Jupiter Regional Council member for Callisto. She's obsessed, confident, ugly, and this rumored artifact that has the supposed power of making her beautiful. The veil. I like it. Okay, that'll be our first. That'll be our first gig.
Get that for her.
Yep, that'll be our first gig, which we're totally getting fucking paid for. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? We also have
whoever we got our ship from, right?
Yeah, that's one of mine. So let's see. So we found our first pieces of magic tech on our own, which we use as collateral for a ship. And I think this needs to be somebody who's not on the up and up. Like this needs to be gray area. And I think that fits with my character really well too. Like, I'm all about my character. Hella's all about the money, and she's using the council as a mechanism and a vehicle for getting that money, because that's where the guaranteed money is. But she knows that there's a lot of information that passes that doesn't pass through the council's hand first. And hey, if we just happen to get some information, well, shit, we got the signet. We can always flash our badge. No, we were totally meant to be here. We're totally good. It's great. Don't worry about it. This is all on the up and up. And then probably every time Persephone's like, God damn it. You're like, no, it'll be fine. Don't worry. It's good. Money's money, right? We're okay.
Right.
We're good. Okay, so let's get a name here. Let's go to oracles. And let's get a name. Ooh. So how prevalent are space lizards?
I'm gonna think they're not very.
Okay, so it'd be a rare thing for us to run across.
We're finding their artifacts around, right?
Gotcha. Okay. So do we consider them to be like a lost dead race, and they're really not? That we don't really know about, but they're out there? Or is it like, we know that they're out there, but it's just extremely rare to find them?
I think it's more that one.
Okay. So we know for a fact they're out there, but like maybe, you and I, our characters have never actually met one in person. We've seen a picture. We know, we've heard stories that are totally bullshit that somebody else has met them before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So in that case, Griff. Oh, it's such a good name. For a gray. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I feel like Griff needs to be somebody who runs, like this totally off the books way station.
Like a junkyard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a refueling station. So they run a refueling station on Europa. So they run like a water and fuel refueling station.
Uh-huh.
In orbit around Europa. super off the fucking books. Super off the books.
Nice.
Okay, Griff. He has no last name, just Griff. Okay, and Griff is totally my on again, off again, more off again. But it just depends on whatever we need supplies.
Yeah.
Runs a totally off the books water and refueling station.
So I had an interesting idea for my third bond.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what you think about it.
Okay, what do you got?
My third bond is with either a space lizard or one of the space whales. And the only way we've communicated is like through whatever these mystic waves are. But somehow like I'm feeling compelled for something. So it adds like a little bit of weird in there.
I like it. I super dig it. Okay, let's hold on to that one. Let me roll up some descriptors. What do we got for Griff here? Griff is stoic, super agreeable, and ambitious. Yeah. So he puts on a nice happy face, but dude wants more. Okay, stoic, agreeable.
Oh, right up your alley.
Yeah, absolutely.
You must get along.
We get along super well. Exactly. We're the best of buds. Stoic, agreeable, ambitious. Now, I want to know what is Griff ambitious for? What's his goal? Ooh, he wants to find redemption.
Ooh.
What did Griff do? Redemption for something he did. Let's go to, I'm going to roll up an action and a theme, and we'll see. He manipulated trade. Manipulate trade.
Maybe he made a deal that was really kind of shady and someone else had to pay the cost. And now he feels so guilty for that he feels like he needs to do something to clear his conscience so he doesn't have to think about it anymore.
Let's tie this in. Griff was a partner with our parents back in the day when something went wrong, and then he pinned the shit on them, and is now seeing this as a means of like, oh look, I'm totally repaying my debt by helping out your kids.
Yeah, I mean they still have to pay me.
They still have to fucking pay me, but like I feel really bad about it, kind of, a little bit.